Everything you thought you knew about self-confidence is probably wrong. And it's not about being the loudest in the room. It's not about faking it till you make it. The truth is that self-confidence is much simpler and something pretty much anyone can learn. Hi, I'm Dante St. James, and I explore the topics of confidence, public speaking, entrepreneurship, and the social media world. And today we're going to uncover the real meaning of self-confidence. It's backed by psychological research and a few personal stories of my own as well, but I'll explain how this misunderstood concept can completely transform your life. And it all starts with an insight from Dr. Thomas Smithyman, a clinical psychologist who spent decades studying self-esteem and confidence. So the big misunderstanding is that, well, a misconception, I guess. Self-confidence isn't about appearing bold or overpowering. It's not about dominating conversations or exuding some untouchable aura, being like a trump. Dr. Smithyman paints a picture that the stereotype is actually closer to narcissism than confidence. And you think about it. Have you ever met someone who seemed incredibly self-assured at first, only to realize that they were just a try-hard? They were trying so hard to impress. And that's what happens when we try to fake it till we make it. And sure, it might work for a first impression, but it's not something we can sustain over time. People pick up on inauthenticity over time, and research shows it pushes people away. So the real definition of self-confidence is a bit of a breakthrough idea. Real confidence has nothing to do with how others see you. It's about how you see yourself. Dr. Smithyman calls this self-fidelity. And the word confidence comes from the Latin root fides, meaning faithfulness. So self-confidence is literally about being faithful to yourself, owning who you are, regardless of any sort of external validation out there. Now, this insight kind of changed everything for me, because for years I thought confidence meant you looking good or impressing people, what you put out there. But the moment I focused on being true to who I was, everything kind of just shifted. And it's not just me. Research backs this kind of thing up. Authenticity, that is, staying true to yourself, it's strongly linked to less anxiety, higher self-esteem, and a lot greater happiness. And the danger of faking it till you make it then becomes the elephant in the room. Dr. Smithyman explains why this strategy often backfires. And sure, acting confident might boost your appeal temporarily to people, but psychologists call this the status singling model, where confident behaviors like speaking loudly or taking up space make people assume you're competent. But the catch is that over time, your true feelings, they seep through in very subtle ways. And Freud summed it up perfectly when he said, if his lips are silent, he chatters with his fingertips. Fidgety stuff, right? People can sense when your behavior doesn't align with your inner reality. And when that happens, it creates this feeling of disconnection, both for you and for others as well. And that's why faking confidence often leads to anxiety and depression and feelings of regret. The simplicity of self-fidelity is, I guess, the alternative. It's simpler than you think. Self-confidence isn't about putting on a show. It's about asking yourself this one key question: what is true for me in this moment? Now, here's how I practice it. If I want to approach someone in a social setting, I do it even if it feels scary. Why? Because it aligns with something I value, which is connection and approachability. In group discussions, I share an honest opinion, even if it's not popular, because staying silent just to fit in would feel very inauthentic to me. When something bothers me in a relationship, I've learned to speak up instead of avoiding conflict, and my partner does that as well. So staying true to myself has strengthened my connections with others, including those most close to me. And here's the good news: you don't need to feel amazing or achieve perfection to be self-confident. You just need to know who you are and live in alignment with that. There is a science of authentic confidence, though. And yeah, let's talk science for a moment. Studies show that people with authentic confidence, and what Dr. Smithyman calls self-fidelity, are more likely to have healthy relationships and much more fulfilling lives, because authenticity builds trust. And trust is a foundation of all our meaningful connections, right? So in fact, research consistently ranks honesty and trustworthiness as the most desirable traits in romantic and professional relationships. When you stop people-pleasing and start living with that self-fidelity, people will respect you more. They'll see you as someone with integrity who values themselves and others as well equally. So if you're ready to start building authentic self-confidence, Here's an exercise I recommend. Dr. Smithyman calls it the self-fidelity diary, right? So every evening, take 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, to reflect on just a couple of questions, right? Where did I stay true to myself today is the first one. The second is, where did I compromise my authenticity, or where was I a bit fake today? And then, how can I align my actions with my values tomorrow? Now, it's a small habit, but it can make a really big difference over time. So the bottom line is that self-confidence isn't about perfection or some kind of performance. It's about being faithful to yourself, knowing who you are and owning that. And when you live this way, you'll not only feel better about yourself, but you'll also attract deeper respect from people, stronger relationships, and greater happiness, right? So stop chasing confidence. Start practicing this idea of self-fidelity. And remember, the most powerful version of you is the one that stays true to who you are. Now, if you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with someone, or you've well got someone who needs to hear this kind of thing. And don't forget to subscribe so you can get some more insights like this. I'm Dante St. James, and I'll see you in the next video.